This chapter is entitled The Descent of the English Language. Now, have you ever wondered why there are so many languages in the world? And have you ever felt that it would be much better if everybody spoke the same tongue? I have also thought about this many times because if everybody spoke the same language, there would be no need of learning foreign languages or translations, right? But due to the diversity of language, we feel the need to learn foreign languages in order to communicate with each other. Now, the problem of diversity of tongues has exercised the minds of men from early times. So, researchers have devised Esperanto as an international language. If we look into the book of Genesis from the Bible, it is written that people spoke the same tongue until God confused their tongues. I'm sure you know about this. Modern linguistic research has shown that languages can be grouped into families, and that many which now appears widely divergent or different in vocabulary, pronunciation, and grammar are rooted or traceable to a common ancestor in ancient times. Scholars believe that all these different languages have a common root. The three parent languages are Aryan, Indo-Germanic, and Indo-European. The Aryan language gave rise to Sanskrit, Persian, and the Indian group of languages. The second parent language, the Indo-Germanic, has a connection with the Germanic tongues such as English, Dutch, German, Danish, etc. However, it does not give importance to Romance and Slavonic groups. The third parent language, the Indo-European language, is believed to have been spoken about 3000 to 3500 years BC by nomadic tribes which wandered in the lands around the Black Sea and the steppes of Siberia. Now, it is believed that these tribes, the nomadic tribes, split up into various sections which moved in different directions across the continent of Eurasia. After they split, each section took along the parent language with them. Different dialects was born of one original language. So by 2000 BC or a little later, it is believed that the Indo-European language had split up into 8 distinct language groups, namely Eastern Sanskrit, Armenian, Greek, Albanian, Italic, Balto-Slavonic, Primitive Germanic, and Celtic. The vocabulary of the Indo-European was limited, but simplicity and directness of expression are its popular traits. So, what is the characteristic of the Indo-European language? It is simple and direct. And it shows that intelligence and civilizations can be seen from their language. There are still traces of the parent Indo-European to be found rooted in the various language that were derived from it. The Indo-European language that split into 8 distinct language groups has many similar words. Taking an example of the language spoken by the natives of Australia, some pronouns like my, you, and some relationship nouns like father, mother, brother prove the argument. But distant relationships like aunt, uncle, cousins don't correspond in the same manner. But surprisingly, cardinal numbers from 1 to 10 have some similarities. The names of numbers in various languages like French, Italian, Spanish, and Portuguese closely resemble the Latin language. Out of the 8 groups of Indo-European family, the primitive Germanic has the root of English language, so we consider it to be the most important. The primitive Germanic language was spoken over the bigger part of Central and Northern Europe from about 2000 to 1000 BC. Throughout this period, the language was breaking up into several dialects and was modified in various ways due to geographical factors. So, as people moved in different directions, even the language was breaking up into several dialects and it was being modified. Here it says the main reason is because of geographical factors. The next important language after the primitive Germanic was Italic, the chief descendants of which was Latin, and through this, modern French, Italian, Spanish, Portuguese, and Romanian languages were born. The Italic group is very important, and its sound system remained intact. Its influence is seen on Germanic groups. Coming back to the primitive Germanic split ultimately into three important branches: Gothic, Scandinavian, and West Germanic. Fragments of the Gothic language can be found in the translations of the Christian Gospels by Bishop Ulfilas, who lived from 311 to 381 AD. Scandinavian gave rise to Swedish, Danish, Norwegian, and Icelandic. West Germanic can be categorized as Old High German, Old Low German, and Anglo-Saxon. Under the Old High German comes German. Under the Old Low German comes Dutch, and under the Anglo-Saxon comes the Middle English, and finally we have the Modern English. In order to conclude, let us see the three parent languages again. We have Aryan, Indo-Germanic, and Indo-European, right? Under the Indo-European comes 8 distinct language groups, including the primitive Germanic. Under the primitive Germanic comes Gothic, Scandinavian, and West Germanic. Under West Germanic comes Old High German, Old Low German, and Anglo-Saxon. And under the Anglo-Saxon comes the Middle English, and finally, this is how the Modern English was born. So it comes all the way from the Indo-European group.